allergy season should be hurting.
What is going on with this weather, bro?
It's greatness. What are you talking about? I got no complaints. Just a little bit of sneezing, a little bit of death. You know, my favorite time of the year.
It's some bullshit, y'all.
Nah, it really is. I do not condone this weather. I still wear my hoodie. It's May, and I'm still wearing a hoodie. What's going on here?
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, because I've been wearing a hoodie every day since like last week. Look at this.
Oh. My mic had muted.
I was like, what's going on?
It was my fault. I had muted my mic so I can cough. I'm dealing with a little bit of a head cold right now. Apologies.
You sure it's not the Rona?
No, I can smell and taste. Positive on that one.
That
Also, if it was the Rona, I haven't had Rona in a year. I'm trying to keep it that way. That's why I've been avoiding Brother J.
What you mean?
What you mean? What I mean?
I haven't had Rona in like a month. We in?
We're in May.
May, like I just said.
I haven't had Rona since September.
You see you see the problem,
September.
right?
Wait, did you confirm that with us?
Yeah, remember I told you I had caught Rona in September?
He catches it more than everybody. That's why I'm trying to avoid him. He's bad luck.
What are you talking about?
You caught it more than 3 times.
No, I haven't. No, that's not true at all.
What? How many times have you caught it? Don't lie to me.
Twice.
This man's lying.
I've only actually tested positive once, but I know I've caught it before. I know I've had it twice.
All right, what? Welcome to the Excuse Me Brother podcast. Too late. I am the host of the evening because I took it.
I gave like it to you.
No, you didn't. I am host of Brother Tay. With me, the man, the bum of the hour. That is Brother J, because he looks the bummish.
I was gonna say, who
like
you talking about?
I don't know who he's talking about. It certainly wasn't me.
It's Brother J. He's the one that he looks like he's the one that's on the train actually for money right now. Got the goal. You got the whole aesthetic going with you right now. It's really good. Instead, I'm homeless, but I'm homeless, but I got money. I just want.
I'm homeless, but I got money.
I'll eat that because you know what? You know how J. Cole does his homeless rapper look.
He really does.
I was gonna say Kanye also does that. Oh, he went through a phase.
It's not as bad as J. Cole's.
No, Kanye doesn't look homeless. Kanye looks like ridiculous.
True, very true.
Who said he could be a fashion icon? I don't know who said that, but no,
he did.
He got popular.
He did
with the Yeezys, and it got to his head. That's pretty much what it is.
He was already calling himself a god anyway. It was already the red on the side.
Pretty much.
People just try to play these personas. Speaking of people playing these personas, we're here.
Man.
That was good.
Can't get mad. I always do it. You can lead any subject. I'm gonna get it back to where I need to go. Today's episode, we're gonna talk about the NBA player that everyone's been nicknaming Ja Wick.
Ja Wick.
Ja Wick.
Literally, people have been calling him that, and it's funny to me. If you don't know, it's about NBA player, NBA superstar, technically, John Morant, 23-year-old young man.
I must say, when I first heard about this story, I said in the group chat that I was like really out of the loop, but I was so out of the loop that whenever I heard people talking about it, they would say, "Oh, Ja's a grown man, and Ja this and that, the Ja." I'm like, what did Ja Rule do? And I literally looked it up. I was like, what did he do? I looked up Ja Rule. The most recent thing was that he was speaking at like this ceremony or something like that. I'm like, what did he say? I listened to the whole thing. It was like 3 minutes. I'm like, he didn't say anything. What are people talking about?
The last time Ja Rule's been on the news is Fyre Fest. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about Fyre Fest. Yeah,
that was great. But no, so as a brief synopsis, I'll give it. Ja Morant is an NBA player, the star player of the Memphis Grizzlies. He got himself in some trouble. It was literally 2 months ago, where actually it started way before that. I didn't give you a full story. He actually got into a habit of just beating up teens and flashing guns before this. Yeah, so he has an act. He has a lawsuit about. Yeah, the first incident, if my memory serves me correct, I think his mom was at a restaurant, and like the staff, she was in a mall, and like some of the kids or like some staff was giving him trouble, so the mom called him, and he pulled up with his whole crew, or whatever his crew is. It was like 15 or 10 of them. They rolled up on the mall to look for the person that was giving his mom trouble, and he was like flashing his gun, being like, "We'll wait for him in the parking lot."
I feel like I heard something about this.
There's more. There's more.
Then okay. After that, he's technically, I don't know if he's getting sued for this one. I got to look back into it. But allegedly he beat up was it a 16-year-old?
17.
I was right. No, should have won my gut.
Close
17. Enough. A 17-year-old on the NBA on like a court. They were playing like a pickup game, and apparently he got mad at the 17-year-old, and like apparently he beat him and hit him with a gun, or flashed his gun. I think he
went back in his house and it flashed at him like the issue was about, but they was playing a pickup game, and the kid got a little reckless, I think, and he like went he beat him, and then went house and then, pulled out his gun. All allegedly, of course.
Allegedly. Because we don't know we don't know the case yet. I'm looking at the police report if there was one. Then now we got a flashback to from today. We got a flashback to about 2 months.
There's more. There was one more that you missed.
There was one more. I don't remember the other one. You gotta tell me that.
The Indiana Pacers.
It's on top of my head right now. Tell me that one, because I think was that the one when he's like he was telling this player he's gonna wait for him in the parking lot, or which one was that?
Yeah, they were.
You gotta tell me that one.
So they played in Indiana, and there was a little commotion between someone on the Pacers staff and a member of Ja's crew. Right, and when the Pacers were leaving the arena, Ja and his homies were in the parking lot in a van. And apparently, allegedly, one of them pointed a laser at the Pacers.
That's right.
Yeah,
I remember now. Yeah, they pointed like supposedly like it was a laser, like a laser dot.
What is this? I think
it was the staff or the players.
Was it 2006?
What?
Remember when that was a whole thing that people were doing? They were getting those little like 99-cent lasers and then pointing it at people. It became a whole issue.
I do remember
at least
that.
In my school.
That was cool. They used to do that at my school too.
Yeah,
I used to laugh at that though.
Not gonna lie, I did it too.
I laughed at my teachers. They're like, no one wants to think a gun. Someone's pointing a gun at them. I was like, well, you're not that important that a sniper rifle's after you. Don't think that. You ain't worth that.
I mean, you never know. I think that was also right at the height of Virginia Tech shooting. So
that was 2007, maybe. So yeah.
Yeah, it was around that time.
People were doing that way before that time too, though.
I mean, yes, but still.
Yeah, here we are still dealing with school shootings. Anyway.
Go figure.
Then it's the incident in the club, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about that Pacer incident. It's just still funny to me.
It's stupid. That's why.
Okay. Did he get reprimanded prior to like this? Because I feel like this is an ongoing thing that constantly.
He wasn't reprimanded for any of this. Like the first two were completely involved him. I think they were still waiting for like the full report on the case about it. That's what NBA when they do their legal stuff, they do normally like to wait like for the legal ruling before they say anything.
Okay.
Like they'll give they'll do like a mini thing like, hey, you've been fined Like, we're gonna find you until we get like the full results. But like, just for you being in this situation, here's like $1 million fine or like whatever your base salary is.
And also maybe a suspension.
The suspension depends on how bad it is. Like, if it's like
but I
fully
feel like
violent.
maybe for like isolated incidents, they can kind of like take it case by case. But because this is an ongoing thing that repeatedly happens,
To tell you the truth, I think because it was an ongoing thing when the incident we're about to talk about take place, I think that's why he got suspended for 8 games. So after the Pacers incident, he was in a club. He got into a club. He was on IG Live. Like, while he's on IG Live, like, showing he's in the club, he shows that he's got like a gun, like a very tiny like silver gun. He's like, I snuck it in and all this other stuff, like waving at the camera.
how old is he again?
So 23.
Yeah, he's stupid. I was trying to give him like the benefit of the doubt, but
No,
he's stupid.
man.
But wait,
What should be
there's
what
more.
what benefit of doubt? I'll ask about. Now we gotta get to the last incident, which
I know
by
this
far,
one. This is the one that people were talking about.
This is the one that everyone's talking about because I want you to, before the context of this one, it was like a whole thing that like everyone's like, John needs better friends. Like, it's his friends, it's his crew that's like putting him in these situations and everything.
I mean, usually that's the case.
That's the case. So I want this to be known that after he got suspended 8 games, missed a few paychecks, and actually
$600,000 to be exact, over $600,000.
Actually,
imagine,
to tell you
like
the truth,
missing out on $600K and still
no, it gets
get in trouble.
it gets
better.
It gets more because of this. Because he got suspended, he kind of missed out on an award. Like, he was going to get this award. It's like all NBA. Like, you're one of the best like 15 players in the league.
Yeah.
Because he got that suspension, he couldn't get that award. Like, they wouldn't vote for him for it, which cost him about maybe $50 million.
Oh wow!
So
but wait, there's more.
So now we're back to the current incident, where now we bring up the friends, and all the reason I say this because you can't blame his friends for this one.
Yes, you can.
No. Oh, no, you can't. Because
yes,
they were in the car. So John and his friends were in the car, like, just jamming. They were already on live before this. And they started listening, like, to trap rap and all this stuff. Just trap music. I just didn't want to it sounded weird calling the trap rap. That made me sound so old.
Trap rap.
There's listen to the, I think it was NBA Youngboy.
NBA, yep.
Some shit. But as they were like just jamming, vibing to it, they kept they were already on Instagram Live, so like they were just like going between each other. The guy in the camera was like going between himself, and then him and Ja. They were just singing a song together. He shows Ja as like they're just like singing into the camera and stuff. He comes back to the face. Then he comes back to Ja, and Ja pulled out a gun, just randomly. And like, it was so fast. He literally just pulled it out, was like this. But like his friend didn't look at him. His friend looks at the camera, sees the gun, drops the phone, just dropped it, and cut off live. And all you heard was, "What are you doing?" That's all you heard was the last part. That's why I couldn't blame his friend. Like, they already knew they were on live. But also, his friend tried his best to save his career in one instant.
No, I really in that situation, you really can't blame the friend. The friend was trying to cover and save his ass. He just couldn't get away in time. But it's just like,
I still don't know why he pulled out the gun. This shit was so funny to me.
No, okay, so I remember the video. So they were listening to the music, and then I think one of them goes like this.
Yeah, but
and then he no, it was somebody else.
Friend with the camera.
He was going like this.
He did this. He was like doing this,
and then
like
Ja decided to actually be like, "Oh, I'll do you one better," and actually pulled out.
It's just like, why? I've seen people do that shit at parties all the time, and no one pulls out a gun.
It's like,
everyone does that, like, especially reggae parties, like when they go boop boop boop, everyone just puts their hands on the guns, like shoots in the air. I see people do that all the time growing up. I've never seen someone go like, "Oh, we pulling guns out? What's up?" Like that's not how that works.
This is like a very clear case of why people. Well, I would say people, but like society needs to be careful of who they give money to, because if you give money to a person like Ja, they're not gonna know what the hell to do. They're gonna just act wild and just think they can get away with anything. And for the most part, he was getting away with it until now, which I mean, he still might get away with it. So it's like,
no,
not this time.
You sure? You
league
think
is
so?
on that ass now. No, absolutely. The league is on his ass now.
He'll probably get a longer suspension if anything.
But you think, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he should not even be in the league anymore. That's what I'm saying.
That's a bit much.
But you see, that's much. I don't know. Like, what is like if for repeated offenses?
You want to know why I say that's a bit much? Because there was an NBA incident where a player pulled the gun out on another player. There was also that.
Gilbert Arenas.
And he didn't get kicked out the league. I think I got suspended for like 10 games, maybe something like that.
No, that's
he got suspended, but he was still in the league.
It's weird because
as
somebody
didn't break
any laws, right?
Yeah, he didn't break a law. He just had it.
But I think he's on the verge of it. Like he's kind of like sitting on the fence, teetering onto it. Like the fact that he's showing off that he has a gun. He's a person of like note. It's not like he's some random. People can see him. There's been people who have been like associated with that stuff, who've gotten killed for showing off like that type of stuff. It comes off as like, you want to come at me? Look what I got. And then they're going to test people. And the NBA doesn't want any blood on their hands.
Again.
Again?
NBA, like, it's not like the NFL bad, but like NBA's had some stuff. The only like major incident. They had some incidents. Nothing too crazy. Nothing like, one that really comes to mind is like Malice at the Palace and like Michael Jordan's dad found dead. Like in the field. No one still knows what happened to that story. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about that.
They think that somebody tried to rob him, and just like it was just like a simple mugging type thing. Of course, like you said,
did they know who he was? They had to have, right?
There's some people who believe that. And then there was also the theory Michael Jordan also had like a gambling addiction, had a gambling debt, so they said that his father got killed because he owed gambling money. That's a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy about it. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think NBA wants like that type of issues on their hands. Like, the biggest issue they want to deal with is like Malice at the Palace, where Ron Artest ran into the stand and started punching people.
Hey, somebody threw a drink at him.
I know, but like,
hey, I understand. You throw a drink at me, I'm throwing hands. Somebody has to get these hands.
I know, but I feel like that's the biggest incident NBA wants to have. Like, they don't want NFL type things where players are committing suicide in the parking lot. Like, they don't want that type of problem.
Well,
that's very true. But going back to Ja, right? The problem.
Morant. We need to know. We need to know what Ja Rule thinks about this. Where's Ja?
Where is Ja? Help me, Ja Rule. Help me.
So the problem with Ja Wick over here is threefold. One, you're already under watch from the NBA and everybody else. Like you've had this problem before where you flashing guns and saying. Two, you're not really like that. Like he's not that type of dude. He's not a street dude. And
never had to be.
Didn't he? I heard that he grew up in the suburbs. No,
his family was very well off. His family was very well off growing up.
I think it's just him trying to pull up up front.
Yeah,
some people like that,
and it's like, bro, you don't need to do that.
I feel like that's a thing that we all should talk about. Like, I feel like that's a lot of people want to do that. Like, they just want to put up a front that they're from the hood or they're gangster. And real people who actually grew up in the hood and are gang members don't want to be this shit.
Yeah,
Hello.
they
Like I
they do
don't.
it because they have to survive, like to
Yeah,
get
I
by.
know a lot of gang members. I know a lot of gang members in my family, and they don't like to publicly talk about the shit they did. Like it is
Nor
what
would
it
they.
is. Oh
I
no,
think
would they? Because
there's some that like to talk about
some
it.
take it. Yeah, some be like it's a badge of honor that I got to do this for my crew. Like that's good for you.
Yeah,
Sound like you snitching though, because you can't like whatever you play like that, you really snitching.
yeah, kind
But
of.
it's like that. Why did I just didn't I don't understand why. Like, bro, you got. And
He already
this is
cost
going to lead to
himself
my
50
third.
million.
But you're gonna cost yourself even more because you're gonna screw up the bag now. You fumbled the bag.
That's
He already
the
signed his
main thing.
contract.
No, but now
Central,
he's gonna get less. Nike's gonna drop him. Power is
yeah,
gonna pull that ad,
most likely.
and you know what I'm saying? Like you fumble, and now you're gonna miss out. Depending on how many games the league is gonna suspend him for, he's gonna miss out on mad bread.
You
Like,
messing up generational wealth. You rich.
generational balls, my guy. Like
You know, like you could have
all because
reached
you
this
want to look
LeBron James
cool.
money.
Hello, like come on, LeBron is on his way out. KD is gonna be gone soon too. I give KD like 5 years. LeBron's like 2-3 years away. Steph Curry is gonna be
3.
gone in like. You
I
think
give
LeBron's
Steph
out in 3 years?
3 years because his son comes in like 2, and he said he wants his last
Okay,
year to be with his son.
that's cool. That's cool.
He said he wants to be the first like King Griffey Jr. and King Griffey like thing for NBA, where father and son get to play together.
Cool.
That is cool. My point is he's on his way out.
Yes.
KD is on his way out.
Yes.
Steph Curry got about 5-6 more years left.
Yeah,
right?
Now is the
I'm sure he's tired of playing this too.
You the face of the league, bro. You're gonna be the face of the league for the next 10 years if you kept your act together.
Yeah, about 6 or 7. He messing up. Could have been part of the league with like Giannis and Jason Tatum.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't think anyone has longevity like LeBron James.
Well, not the way that Ja plays. Ja's you be flying through the. Dude, he does be jumping from the free throw line and be with the acrobatics.
He got that MVP Derrick Rose in him. Hopefully his knee don't give out like that though.
That's another issue. But you know what I'm saying? The league is his, basically. It's his for the taking. And you want to be a gangster for what? Listen, if you ain't want the 500 mil or the 200 mil, just say that. I would have gladly took it. I know mad dudes right now who could use 200 mil.
You know what I'm saying? I would love that 200 mil. That should be fun.
200 mil. Shit. There's whole cities that can use 200 mil.
Like,
there are definitely cities and towns in New York State that could definitely be like, I got 200 mil?
Right?
How much welfare programs I could save?
Like, come on,
Mississippi.
Man.
It's just people like I said, they get money and they don't know how to act. They think because they're young that they're impenetrable, that they're Teflon, that they can constantly just keep moving on and nothing's gonna phase them.
Solve those issues real quick.
I said that too. That
that lesson real fast.
If you're
like,
trying
I'm invincible till that bullet comes through.
There's people
you really close.
There's like that show, was it Scared Straight or something like that?
Where I hate that show.
It is kind of stupid, but I get the point of it. It's like you take kids who are trying to be gangbangers and think they're all about that life, and then put them in front of actual people who live that life and see if they actually really want to be like that.
I felt bad for there was like one, this showed up on YouTube. They had it for like one kid, and then like he actually ended up in the prison that they took him to, Scare Straight, and then he had to talk to them. He was like 18.
Yeah, I remember.
He was like, don't pay attention. I came in, I thought this shit was a game. So I really got locked in, then they closed the light, and it's like, then they beat my ass the next day. I was like, well, shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he's inviting that kind of attention. So it's like, oh, you want to be about this life? And then they're going to show him what that life is about. Like, you really can't, especially, I mean, granted, anybody shouldn't do that. Like, nobody should do that, rather. But
no one
because
wants to do
he's a celebrity, essentially, he attracts more attention from it. Maybe that's what he wants. I don't know.
But that's the thing, though. What more attention do you need? Because you're practically about to be the face of the NBA. What more attention could you ask for?
People get addicted to that. They constantly want more attention. They want more fame. They want more notoriety. So they constantly do shit to get into the limelight.
Yeah, that's weird because technically he's considered to be like a big size market because Memphis is a major city technically.
It is.
It's not like New York. It's not like New York and LA, but like it's still a city people know for music and stuff.
Yeah.
So like it's not like he needs to like him just being in that city probably would have got him a bigger attention than him just playing. But everyone now knew this. Everyone's making jokes. Like he's looking for the ops so he can join his friends. Like wow.
Yo, and it's like, when the first incident happened, right? He did that short little stint in a Florida, I guess, rehab center. I don't know if it's a
which stint? Which stint? The one with the camera or the one where his mom called? Because I feel like that's
the camera.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like the issue with his mom calling him, and that was his doing, and his response was to do that. I feel like that's a bigger issue in itself.
That too, but remember when he first got caught with the camera? Because he was in a strip club. He was drunk. I don't know if he was high or not. But he started flashing the gun.
Yeah, he was still under the influence. That he decided that flashing the gun was the good thing to do. That's a full on problem.
But remember, the team suspended him for 8 games, or the league did, I should say. And then
suspended him for 8 games.
Then he had that conversation with Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA here in New York, and they basically gave him a slap on the wrist. You know what I mean? And he did that short little stint in that facility for like what, 3 or 4 days?
I thought he was there for a week.
But however long it was. It wasn't long enough is my point.
There's precedent to the NBA trying to kind of like sweep this under the rug. Because like you said, he is the future. Like he could be the face of the NBA, and the NBA likes that because it makes it easier to market games and teams and players and all that stuff. So they don't want this to be on his record. They don't want his name to be tied to this. So they do let him slide a lot of times. I mean, not to say that they do, but like I feel like this has happened before where a player gets into a controversy, but the NBA kind of like was like, whatever, because they want to market him. They don't want to lose him. They're trying every excuse not to go.
I mean, Ja is nothing against it. Ja Morant would relate most to these kids right now. With the dreads, colorful hair, tattoos. That's what most kids right now like really want to look at.
Yeah, but
that would catch the attention.
Jeremy, that's more so an NFL thing. The NFL does that way more.
I mean, yeah, I feel like every league does it.
That's why every sport league technically.
But that's what I'm saying. Why it seems like they're constantly not doing as much as they should.
I think in the first incident, they didn't do much because, well, I'm going to say it like this. Adam Silver went soft on him when, Brother Jay, you know as well as I do that David Stern would not have let this slide at all.
No, I said it earlier in the episode, when it comes to certain things like this, Adam Silver is very more player friendly. So facts are out there. Like, because technically, if this is like David Stern or like Roger, if this is like any other commissioner currently and past David Stern, as soon as that first story that came out with him allegedly beating up that 17-year-old and then flashing a gun, he probably would have already been suspended by this time already.
Oh, straight up, 100%. 100%. And it's funny because when David Stern took over the NBA back in the 80s, the NBA was way worse than it is now. Like players were using drugs. It was on tape delay.
Yeah.
It was the Wild Wild West back in the 80s.
I mean, everyone was using drugs in the 80s. Can't just
that was everywhere.
Lawrence Taylor was doing cocaine before his football games. Come on. Coke was everything.
You right.
That powder, they needed that white powder for everything and everyone's. Any of it.
You're not wrong about that. But this time, like you said, that Adam Silver is way more player friendly, almost to a fault, because now the players get away with a lot around this time. You know what I mean? They get away with so much that it's almost ridiculous.
To tell you the truth, honestly, next to this, like I don't really hear a lot of. I think this credits to like a lot more leadership and mentorships for the NBA. Because like there's not really that much NBA players get in trouble with that often. It's not like the NFL where every time we hear is like an domestic abuse or an assault charge.
Or drunk
driving charge or killing. Hell, even one of the players that got drafted for the NFL killed one of his teammates in a racing event.
What? Excuse me, brother.
What?
You didn't know that?
Oh.
No.
If you look it up, his name is Jalen Carter. He got drafted to the Eagles at the 9th pick. One of his friends, he literally has gotten charges for like high speed racing, and like one of his teammates died in one of the incidents for racing.
Was it because of hit? Well,
it wasn't like a hit and run situation. I think they were just all racing.
They were all racing,
and I think
and then one of his
yeah. I think it was something else, but like it literally led to one of his teammates dying.
There's a $40 million lawsuit going on about this.
About what?
About what you just mentioned.
About the racing, about that kid?
Yes.
There's like a lot of crazy. Honestly, every time.
But see, that's the thing. Like,
and the staffer. Jeez.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
He still went 9th overall, first round.
Wait, he got drafted after this happened?
Yeah, this is after. He just got drafted like a few weeks ago. This man was. I told you he was the 9th overall pick. He got drafted after all the incidents. I think, and being the 9th pick, he's at least guaranteed at least $50 million.
And there was like no scrutiny about it, like no question. I mean,
I'm sure they questioned him.
Not even him, just like the league. I meant, like, how could you just like let this happen? Not even let this happen, but just like knowing this happened.
Technically, the league couldn't really question it because he was still a college kid at the time when this happened. This would have fallen under the NCAA umbrella. Technically, now NFL can do some stuff about it. Because now he just got drafted. Now he's in the NFL. Now he's technically under the NFL umbrella. But at the incident at that time, that would have came from the NCAA.
That's still weird. Like, why? Like, if you know this is going on, why would you even have him eligible to be drafted? Like, I don't know.
I guess because until you formally accuse him of a crime, because
like, don't ask me any questions. I don't understand how this thing. We don't like the NCAA to begin with this bullshit. Like, for years, for years they've been like just using they've been using free labor to get money. So like, under the flagship of their student athletes, their students first. You can't pay students. Which was bullshit to begin with.
If I'm generating you money, I better get something. I'm leaving here with something.
You should. But I let the players get in trouble, like Reggie Bush. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you ever get the time, Jeremy, like to just look up everything you get in trouble for as an NCAA athlete, it is crazy.
The list is astronomical.
I remember a coach told the story about like how one of his players, I think his father or like his brother died. And like because he was going to school in California, and his family was like in the South, like one of like Mississippi or Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So his brother died, and he wanted to go to the funeral, but he didn't have money to fly out, and his family couldn't buy him a ticket.
Okay.
But so the coach wanted to buy him a ticket, like to go see his family, like a round trip, so he can be there for morning.
Yeah.
But if he did that, the school would have been in the NCAA violation. And him and the school would have got in trouble because it's favorable treatment, as the NCAA called it. And I'm not joking. That's a thing.
So he couldn't even do it like out of like
a terrible organization.
No, you could not. You couldn't do it in the kindness of your heart because
It's not. Yeah,
you can't make
you can't make donation.
That's no players though.
You could have you could have advised him to make a GoFundMe. That's the best you could have done.
That's what I was gonna say. Like honestly,
and to tell you the truth, I don't even know if he would still got in trouble for that. Because technically, you're still, as a student athlete, you're still accepting money from people. You're not allowed to do that.
Oh well, I heard something tangentially related to this, which I think they didn't they like
related.
That's a
that
word.
they changed because it has to do with the game, the NCAA football game, that for the longest time, like they were making these games but not paying the players who are in it, and that was like a whole controversy because
that was a lawsuit.
Was it a lawsuit? I don't remember.
That was a lawsuit headed by one of the players, and I always remember this because he went on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver because they talked about that. The game he played the game, it was like NCAA 2005, and like he was one of the players, and like he said it was so realistic that like it was realistic for the time.
Right. Yeah.
And, like and it had his number, it had his last name, it had his full name on it. Like they were saying, I think his name was like Ed Sullivan or something like that. And then like he said like he was playing it with one of his friend's kids, and like the kid was like 16. The kid goes like, "It's crazy how like the NCAA made money off this, and you didn't get a single penny."
It is fucked up. Yeah, they changed it though.
That's why. Yeah, I was about to say that's why you see all these upticks in NIL deals among student athletes.
Also, that's why the NCAA game stopped in 2009.
Yeah, no, I think they're bringing it back though, but the players are gonna get paid this time. I think.
Yeah, you use my name, my image, and my likeness. I deserve to get paid for it. Like the kid with the Popeyes meme, where you see it in Popeyes and you kind of get like caught looking.
Oh yeah.
He's got a deal now.
I think I think he's a football player right now. Actually,
wait, that kid?
Yes,
yeah,
he grew up.
I think he's a football player.
Oh shit,
I think he's playing
football
right now. I think he's playing for his.
Where?
I think he's not old enough. I think he's like a high schooler. He's like a high school kid, but he's a star recruit. I think he's gonna go to a D2 or D1 school for football.
But yeah, he's got an NIL deal now because of that meme.
Wow,
you know what I mean? So
interesting.
But you know, back to Ja is like, you know, his I don't know what how. Okay, let me ask you a question.
I can answer all questions.
How much does hip hop culture and gun culture play into this?
I think it.
I don't want to say too much.
I think it does play some type of role in that it glorifies that type of lifestyle. But at the same time, I mean, rappers have gone on record plenty of times to say that this shit is just like entertainment. It doesn't mean that they're living that life. It doesn't mean that they're glorifying it. It's just a song, or it's just some music. Most rappers do.
I want to say it's the same thing that most people use before, where they're like most rappers and the hip hop artists will be like, we're not living this life because we want to. Like we did this in our past, so you can understand the story and the struggle we went through.
Right.
Just some people look at them like, oh, that look cool and stuff. There's the same people that go like, I want to go to the projects to see what it's like, and then freak out as soon as they step in to go back home.
And I mean,
so I guess
also...
part of it.
Go ahead.
So part of it, because due to how we just idolize rappers and the stories they tell, because they're just telling stories about what they did.
Yeah.
So you got to give them at least maybe 10 to 15%. But again, it's still up to Ja himself is over 21.
Yeah.
At a certain point, he should know people, and he should know himself that some of these things he should not want this life.
Yeah,
like this is what he fully decided what he was about.
I was gonna say that like usually the issue comes up whenever it's regarding like kids, like they're they're pushing this
They're impressionable.
they're impressionable. They're pushing this type of stuff on our kids. But the argument against that, it's always like, you should be a parent and not let your kids listen to this if you don't want them listening to this. Granted,
or at least explain it to them. Like have a sit down chat with them.
Yeah. And that's why like rappers have gone. I think Lil Wayne is like, he's one of the most like obvious ones who's saying like, the stuff I rap about, like, your kids shouldn't be listening to it. It's not my job to parent your kids. So
Eminem has said the same thing too.
Eminem,
Jay-Z,
yeah, all of them. 50 Cent,
everyone
like,
says it.
Snoop Dogg, all of, like the notable ones that you could think of. They've said it. Like, my stuff is not for kids. So if your kids are listening to it, something's going on, and you
As
need
a side note,
you need to figure it out. But
as a side note, Snoop Dogg just bought our NHL team.
An NHL team?
Yeah, he bought a hockey team.
But a hockey team.
Yo, he's just
do not question Snoop Dogg.
He's just side questing.
Missions.
I was gonna say he's side questing.
He's on side quest. Eli, and you know who also just joined him on that? Eli Manning. Cause he also where else? They don't care.
Really?
Eli just did too. Like, they are all over. They're just done with life.
Yeah, they're just doing whatever. That's freaking Snoop Dogg's at WrestleMania punching the Miz. So.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was his elbow.
Yeah,
no,
that was all an audible.
Fully on side quest.
He's just doing shit.
Snoop Dogg's fully on side quest because he's making commercials in Turkey, speaking Turkish language, and he also like did a feature for the Spanish song. No reason, he just did it.
He's done that before though. But anyway,
Snoop Dogg doesn't care. He's fully on side mission mode. He completed the story.
Yeah, he completed the story. He's doing the extras, the DLC.
He got nothing better to do.
But yeah, so, but like I said, it usually when this topic comes up, it's like in relation to kids. However, as you said, Ja is a grown man.
He's 23. He's over 21.
He should know that this type of stuff is not for real. Or if it is for real, what he's trying to portray is not how it actually is. You don't see gangsters flashing their guns on Instagram lives. Like, you're not going to see that.
And if they do, they normally end up with consequences.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, unfortunately ended up dying most of the time. The same incident that happened, and to put it aside, the same thing that happened with PNB Rock, where his girlfriend put their location.
That's the
on
one
Instagram.
That was what I was thinking of.
Yeah, his girlfriend put his location on Instagram, and literally 30 minutes later, this man gets gunned down trying to get robbed.
Or what's his name? Why am I blanking?
Oh, you think which one? Pop Smoke?
Yeah.
Pop Smoke got.
Oh yeah.
He did that too.
Pop Smoke got set up. That was unfortunate. Pop Smoke got set up by his friend.
But it was definitely a setup. But Pop Smoke posted the address to, I think, where he was staying at.
Probably.
Inadvertently, I think he posted a picture like of a bag, and on the tag.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Right. It had the address of where he was staying at, but he was still set up. Definitely set up.
Yeah, he was set up for that, but still, Twitter and shit on social media where there's things like this. This is what happens. Josh should know this. As a 20-year-old, as a celebrity who's actually friends with probably rappers like this, he should already know the stories that they've already gone through.
I think it's the same thing. Probably not listening.
It's the same thing. Dave Chappelle talks, or he's listening and he's like, "Ooh, that's how." Like he's probably. It's a difference when it's like a 13 or 16-year-old where they're like, "Oh, that sounds cool." He's 21. He shouldn't have this mind. He's over 21. That mindset has to go out the window because he has to know what's consequence.
Producer, my thing about the whole children thing is like, yeah, you shouldn't let your children listen to this stuff, right? But and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the parent here. Mm-hmm. You're the only one here who has children.
For now.
Is it not impossible? I mean, isn't it impossible to shield your children from everything?
Yeah. No, it definitely is. And I'm not saying that parents should like shield their kids from everything. Like they're not going to know, cuz the more, my philosophy is, the more you try to shield your kids from somebody or something in general, the more they're going to want to seek it out.
Right.
So I like to not expose them to it. Like, here, this is what you should avoid. Like, no, it's going to happen. When it happens, you talk with them about it. and you come up with a way to try and like satisfy both parties. Like, okay, like you're gonna be exposed to this stuff. I can't control that, but I want you to know that there's a time and place for this type of thing. Like whether it's like listening to music or whatever, like or like that has curse words or anything, any stuff, type of stuff like that. You say, or I would say, just listen to it, but no, don't repeat it in school. Don't repeat it to your friends or whatever the case may be. And I always bring in the caveat that like you may think you're being slick, trying to like hide it from me or whatever. I will always find out. I will always find out, and that's literally happened before. Not that my kids like repeated stuff like that, but they've tried to get away with stuff in school, and I tell them, tell me the truth, and that's one thing. That's another thing too. That telling the truth when I ask you is gonna be less of a punishment than if I find out later.
Yeah.
So we had this talk before. Oh,
have we? I don't know. I feel like I've had this talk when people ask me this question. But
I don't think we had it on the podcast. I know we personally had this talk. I think
probably,
we was like eating food together.
Probably.
And we made the joke about like we made the joke why I don't lie because I can never remember the story. Which is that's not even a joke. That's the full truth. That's the only reason why I don't lie. I'll never remember the story I told to begin with.
So fuck
it. Lying takes more work anyway.
It
because
does.
You have to maintain the lie. You don't have to maintain the truth. The truth is the truth.
Right.
You'll forget some details from time to time. That's about it, though.
Actually, let me not say that because they're right here. They might get ideas. I was gonna say there's ways to circumvent that.
He was gonna say something about maintaining lies, but
yeah,
this is what the circumvent. He's like, there's circumstances to everything. No, Producer Jay, be better. You have kids. Let me be the bad influence that you don't want them to be. I can do it for you.
No,
because it's like
let it happen.
Okay.
Let it happen.
That's part of the issue with this whole Ja Morant thing. Is like Brother Tate said earlier, kids look up to him. They want to be him, but they also gotta realize that he is his own individual. He's an adult, right? He's not a kid.
Yeah, that's
two.
Yeah,
he has different life circumstances than the average human being, which leads me to my next point. It's like, dude, you're a celebrity now. You have money. Hire a security team if you ever feel unsafe. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want your boys to be around that much, put them to work for you. You know what I'm saying? Get them all security licenses, gun licenses, license to carry. If they want to tote pistols, they can do it legally. That way, if it has to be used, you know, they have the leeway to do it. They're trained to do it.
The issue is not...
It's safer.
It's not security, though. I think he just likes showing it off. I don't think
he
really...
just likes to be say he has it.
Yeah, I don't think he really... Or maybe he does, but he just also likes to show it off.
You know, to get back, like you said, to follow the statement up of kids follow him.
That's another aspect.
He's a role model. If he's supposed to be the role model, can you really follow a role model that's following other dumb orders? Is that a role model that you really want?
Yeah. No. That's the dumb leading the dumb.
That's the same thing. Where our moms our moms were like, if your friend jumps off the cliff, you gonna do it with them? That's the equivalent to that. That's what that is.
Pretty much. I think he's just not really. I mean, I said it before in the beginning. He's stupid. He's not thinking about that shit. He's being stupid. That's it.
He's living his 23-year-old life, losing money, because he's got more money probably than he ever thought he'd have. Be honest.
I mean, I want to say had it been any other situation, I can usually forgive being young and dumb, because we've all been there. We've all done dumb stuff. But this is like
not like that.
That's what I'm saying. This is like you can't really use that excuse.
Everyone's dumb stuff is different. True. Some of us make kids by mistake. That was not a shot at you, Producer Jay. Don't take it that way. I'm just saying.
He was married.
Yeah.
See, there's a difference. I'm talking about other people like having kids at 18 and 16. Those are the dumbest. Some dumb mistakes are worse than others. But we all do make dumb mistakes.
I guess it's just the scale is different. I guess maybe because he feels like he's a celebrity, he has to make bigger dumb decisions.
It's the same. I think it's because I don't think because he didn't really get this famous until like college, where he started high flying, and then it became public that he was going to go to the league. But that happened all in 1 year.
Maybe it
Before
just
that, no
got
one
to his
really
head.
cared about him. Murray State.
Was he doing this stuff in like?
In
has
high
there been
school? No.
stories? Well, you don't know.
We don't know because literally the time he became famous was his 1 year in college at Murray State. And then literally from that point, he jumped from no one to being one of the top NBA prospects in the world. And then from there, it was a complete different jump off.
Maybe
it's not like it's not like LeBron James where people were following him from high school, or the people he got drafted with Zion Williams and RJ, where they were following him, where they like these athletes and adults had like this sort of maintained media presence since they were like 16. So like we were like these three are gonna make it to the league and become names. He literally just showed up randomly. So like instead of having this years of training and like dealing with answering interview questions and having cameras and having money and possibly presented to him, this is like his first like 4 years of stuff like that.
So this could just be wasn't equipped to handle it. And
some people aren't.
Yeah.
Some people aren't really equipped for it. That's why you need friends that's why you need some influencers that can do better.
Yeah,
same thing for Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was like about to ruin his whole life if his friend didn't put a savings account for him. It was like if you want this money, you gotta have to make it to 35.
Same thing with Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo was a street dude for a while and was still living that street life in Denver.
From Denver, Maryland, everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until remember that time they had the fight at the Garden and Allen Iverson punched what's his name in the face?
I do remember.
The dude from the Knicks.
Who was it?
Punched dude in the face, and out of everybody, Carmelo got like a 15-game suspension. Remember that?
I do remember. I just can't remember the name of the player who got that. I don't remember the player.
David Stern. Going back to David Stern, right? Pulled him into the office. Melo was like, yo, why you give me 15 games? He's like, dude, you've had issues. You know what I'm saying? You had a DUI, you had a weed charge, you had the assault charges. You was on the Stop Snitching videos in the early 2000s. Remember those Stop Snitching videos that rappers was promoting?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Carmelo was part of that. He was like, yo, you either going to be in the NBA or you're going to be in the streets. You can't do both. You know what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with a corporation now.
And
the NBA is a $1 billion corporation.
Yeah, you're not going to cost them $1 billion. Yeah, you're not going to mess up their money. I guarantee that.
They're gonna move on without you. So
the NBA will still be here without you.
It's crazy enough that like Dwight Howard's in Thailand trying to get other players to go there. Right? That's how like crazy it is.
And John might join him. We might have to. You know,
people may not want to pay him no more. His team. Then again, Memphis itself was wilding, so I can't say nothing. That whole team was wilding.
Well, and you see why they don't win. They haven't won anything. They're too much. And this is what Golden State was telling them. Like, this ain't no rivalry. You guys ain't done nothing. Y'all don't know what it takes to win.
I will always look.
And sure enough,
I always remember that one. I always remember that nonsense where John Morant really goes like, we're fine in the West. We got to worry about the East when we get to the finals. Just to get eliminated.
Hello. You think you could just roll through the rest of the league? No, you guys don't know what it takes to win. And this is part of the reason why, because you got immature people like John Morant who think that they got it, that shit is sweet all the time. And no, it takes one bad decision for it to all be taken away from you. And you put your team in a terrible position now, because not only are they going to lose him for a significant amount of time next year, remember, they're not bringing back Dylan Brooks, so the whole complexion of the team is about to change.
They don't need to bring that man back anyway.
But you see what I'm saying, that the whole complexion of the team is about to change, and it's going to alter everything that they have to do in the offseason because you want to be a dummy. And y'all think y'all a dynasty. Okay, all right.
That also kind of affects, it also affects the way to, someone's calling me. Also affects the way he can like bring other players. Like, I forgot what is. I guess recruiting. I guess would be the term for it. Because like when you're an NBA player, NBA players choose where they get to go. If you want to stay at one place, you're gonna have to, and you want other players to join you. It's like recruiting players. Why would anyone want to go to Memphis when they know that their star players most likely going to get suspended again for flashing his gun out in public?
Yeah,
like public indecency.
Does it spark confidence in the rest of the team or other players looking into it?
Yeah, this man's doing public indecency with bullets.
He's lucky. Well, I'm not gonna say he's lucky, but thank God he didn't harm anybody.
Well, yeah,
he could have pulled the Plaxico Burrs and shot himself.
Yo, I forgot all about that one. That wasn't even just so much dumb. It was just like
there was a lot. There was a lot that went behind that, because it's kind of dumb that he thought like it's the same thing. You're a celebrity, you're a superstar, you're a star. Because Plaxico Burrs was like a star player for the Giants today.
Yes,
you should have security with you if you're worried.
Yes,
like that. And all it did was that not only did he have it, he snuck it into the club while he was dancing and went off and shot him. So there was a lot that went into that was really weird.
But even then, you didn't even know like Plaxico Burrs had a gun until that incident happened. Remember, social media wasn't as prevalent. This is what 2008 that happened.
I think it's
maybe this was after they won the first Super Bowl, so it was 2008 because he didn't play in the second one. But even then, like he wasn't rolling around the streets on Instagram Live talking about take a picture, y'all, take a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
get a good angle. You like this angle? You like this angle? Like this angle?
Like come on, son! Like what are you doing? Like this is remember we did the episode about social media.
Yeah,
this is why I hate it.
What it does to people.
This is part of the reason why y'all stupid. Y'all telling yourselves it gives people
irons
on social media.
Oh yeah,
after you've been in trouble for this already.
That's an issue with like oversharing. I feel like everybody has that issue now.
I told you, snitches. You keep snitching on yourself, goes back on you.
Well, yeah. But
I think how many games do you think he's gonna give him? Mind you, producer,
20.
I don't know if you know, but the NBA season is an 82 game regular season.
I was gonna say, isn't it almost over?
Well, they're in the playoffs now, but
his team's eliminated, so he'll get his suspension will start next year.
It will start okay. Honestly,
right?
Yeah.
If it were me, I suspended for the whole season.
Oof, rough.
Them learning the lesson.
It's only because he has the president. It's the president. I understand.
Yeah, like it has to be
he has the president record. I understand what we do. That's why I'm going with increasing. I was gonna say 20 to 25, honestly. Because I know how soft Adam Silver is when it comes to these things. And I at least know he's going to at least try to because it was 8 games the first time with everything. So now after you had this conversation, and he had the conversation with him, now after all this stuff, you got to at least double or triple it. And I'm more the idea of tripling it. Because apparently it's not getting through. He don't need to play 25 games without pay. He'll be all right. You really learn your lesson with that Wally gets it.
My number would have been 41. Half the season.
Half the season.
Half the season.
I don't know if I've ever seen someone get 7.5 the season.
It's got to stick. You got to make it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like 25 games, you could still. I mean, with the new CBA, right? You have to play, I think a minimum of 55 games in order to be considered for All NBA, right?
To get for any award in general.
For any award, you got to play at least 55 games. This
is an idea. I just don't. If he's gonna try to go, if he runs, he already lost the money for that. It's too late because he didn't make that All NBA teams. He didn't. He's already lost that money. That's not coming back. And since he already started a new contract where that part of that money is already guaranteed. At some point, his team's already going to be affected to begin with, losing because they're already in the West where it's hard life in that. Like the top 12 teams can beat your ass without your star player easily. So I feel like to me 25 games in that 25 games in the NBA in general kind of just puts your team in a slope where they can never come back in. I never seen a team go on a 25-game losing streak and be like, we made the playoffs. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's a lot. It's gonna be a lot.
The only reason I said 25, I don't want to say half of the NBA still wants his money, so it still wants the team look competitive. That's the only reason why it won't go that far. Look,
this is why you don't
they want to punish, but they also
eggs
still want to.
in
They want to
all-in-one
punish,
basket.
but they still want to make their money. They're not putting it all in one basket. They have like 7 baskets, and they want to make sure one of the 7s are all there.
True.
They don't want to try. They don't want to have to try to find a new 7 basket. That's too much work.
I think that's why the Lakers are in the Western Conference Final, because that's what the NBA wants to see.
It's not that scripted.
Huh?
It's not that
You think
scripted.
it's not that scripted? I think
it's
it
not
is.
that. It's not that scripted because I guarantee you right now, nothing against LeBron. Steph Curry making it to the conference finals is worth way more money than.
You think so?
Right now, yes. Like to us, LeBron's worth more. But remember, Steph Curry's more famous, is better with the women and the kids. So always remember that LeBron's just good with men. That's too demographic he's losing to. If I'm going scripted, I'm definitely putting Steph Curry in there for LeBron James. Hell, the Nuggets would have never made it if it was scripted. Let's be honest. I'm not putting Nuggets in there. I'm trying to get this money. I'm trying to keep all California in there. Why do you think I'm scripted? I'm mad at Kawhi and Paul George for being injured. Get your shit together. I need y'all to get this LA money.
I can't. I want nothing to do with those two because it's ridiculous. It's too ridiculous.
Like the East is fine. If I'm the East, I'm a little upset because New York gives me more money than Miami, but like Miami still gives me money.
Right.
But I'm still getting the money. I'm just mad at Denver because I don't want Denver there when I can get LA.
Yeah, Denver's not a market that you really care for.
It's a market, just not as big as Los Angeles or any California major city.
Care for.
Yeah. Right.
You can't sell Denver in June. You know what I'm saying? You can sell Miami and LA in June, but you can't sell Denver.
Barely sell Denver in July and August. No one wants to go. No one wants that cold weather shit. Unless they do X Games. That's the only time Denver becomes popular. That's Aspen.
Basketball.
That's only because Shaun White was a thing. Fuck that flying tomato ass nigga.
When y'all got anything for grinds my gears?
Just MTA. Why you gotta screw up my schedule, Brother Jay? It's all your fault.
I ain't been to work in 3 days. What you talking about?
That's why. That's why it's your fault.
See?
You missed 3 days worth of shifts. How dare you? You're fucking us up.
Why you
know this runs through you.
Actually, you know what? It's funny that you said it because it kind of does.
All right, then.
If the track department is not on point, you can't run trains.
It's your fault.
It was kind of like how I always used to say back room was like the most important part of the target.
It pretty much is.
If you really think about it, track is like the most important part of the subway because if we ain't got no railroad, y'all can't run trains. Y'all can't get to work.
In this case, it was mostly just the buses. I know you don't have anything to do with that, but it falls on the MTA, so I'm gonna blame MTA.
All right, fair enough. I'll eat that. I'll eat that. What happened though?
The buses was just running late. I don't know why. That's why I was late. Well, I wasn't late technically. Well, I was a little late, but I was running late. Freaking waited 20 minutes for one bus that I could take, and then 30 minutes for the other bus that I could take.
And sure, you just saying leave the house late?
No, I didn't leave I'm talking about coming home. Leaving the house was fine, actually.
And sure, you didn't leave the job late?
I did not leave. I leave the job the same time every day.
Sound like his fiance right now. It took you 30 minutes to get home. Were you with that other hoe? Producer Jay?
What's that from White Chicks?
5 minutes. You got home in 30.
Yeah. I checked MapQuest.
MapQuest says it takes 5 minutes to get home from the bar. You got home in 7.
What were you doing? Would
So
you?
he was
I
like,
got.
if I was cheating on you, don't you think I need more than 2 minutes?
Imagine she made the joke like, no, I know how long it takes you to do stuff. I'm like,
Right?
damn.
That would have been a good comeback. I know how long it takes you.
Before we go, this is a question I want to ask you because I got into a little argument with some of my bros.
What's up?
They were like, would you trust? Because we have a thing where everyone has a location in our group chat right now. Some of us do. They're like, would you trust your partner? Would you trust your significant other with your location on your iPhone? And I
Yes.
responded with yes, because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I understand the reason it was brought up because the friend who brought it up is a cheating hoe, but that's a different story.
Oh well.
Mm.
If you
Well, of
got
course.
something
It's
to
fine.
hide, obviously.
If you got something to hide, but like my brain's like, my brain's like, motherfucker,
I would prefer
I
them
get
to know
lost
where
easily.
I'm at, just in case.
I get lost easily.
Listen,
Send help. Send help, please. I get stranded very easily. And distracted by the public.
My best friend is married and she shares her location with me. Right? Mostly because we both have iPhones. Her husband has an Android. So it's not like he can just, I don't know how it works cross devices like that or cross platforms, but she shares her location with me. Raven shares her location with me, especially when she's out, with somebody doing her thing.
Raven listens, what's up? Like
I'll tell her if we shouted her out. Oh, she just had a birthday.
Don't tell her when, so she can listen to the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Got you.
I have friends that have location too. I think Chastity and Nadia both have my location.
See?
Because I get lost very easily. And so does Chastity.
It's nothing to be secretive about it. You're just sharing your location.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move through the shadows. It's where I keep my food.
Speaking of food.
I keep it big. You're hungry? So let's end it. Let's end it then.
Yeah, let's call it.
I want producer Jay. I want producer Jay or brother Jay to do one, just to see how you guys do it. Not now.
I tried and I failed.
All right, but like that's what life is. Trial and error
that we did. No.
That's the good thing about life. It's trial and error all the fucking time. I shoot and miss every fucking thing, but it doesn't stop me from shooting. I gotta live that Kobe lifestyle. You miss all the shots you don't take.
That was Wayne Gretzky.
I don't give a single flying fuck. Thank you for listening to the Excuse Me Brother podcast. Brother Jay gave away. He's done with us. Thank you for listening. If you want to interact with us, you can follow us on Instagram at excuse_me_brother with the A, because we all know it. Say it with me now, because it's not racist. If you want to follow us on TikTok at excuse_me_brother with the ER, because producer Jay made it, and we all know he is racist. And then you want us to... And if you are on Facebook, you can follow us on the Facebook group, excuse_me_brother. There's space between all that because it's a normal sentence. With the ER, because Brother Jay is also racist. It's not towards his own people. And if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for listening to this or watching this and our stupidity that I do the best of. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. I don't know what Brother Jay does. Don't you point at
me pointing.
I know, right? Thank you very much. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, and if we don't ever see you again, goodbye.